Guys, we're actually walking back from the store, and Craig Robinson, the white supremacist who actually works for, or used to work for the FBI, and he says he works for NSA or a contractor, or literally he's some sort of auditor of the federal government of the United States, or contractors, or CIA companies. Anyway, he was once registered with the White Citizens Council, and he was noted as the secret Grand Master of the White Citizen Council. But anyway, he requested that I demonstrate to you guys that I'm walking, and that I bought into a song called Jesus Walks, which has me walk instead of purchasing a car and this and this. Guys, I'm gonna have to be honest with you guys. I'm gonna have to be honest with you guys. I'm not gonna be nice anymore. I'm gonna be respectful. I'm gonna be as kind as possible, but I'm not gonna be nice anymore. Okay? I'm gonna keep my $10 million to myself. I'm gonna keep my Coral Gables house, the specific house, hidden amongst a selection that you guys are gonna keep looking at over and over and over again, try to figure out which alias of mine actually purchased the particular house, or if it was actually purchased under my name, Shawn Dexter John, or some sort of variation of my alias, my cultural alias. I used it a few times, Shawn Dexter Jones. Okay, listen up. I do have 2 cars. I do have $10 million essentially, for the most part, in a real lawful American financial account, a bank account. Okay, and it's only exclusive to me. I'm the only person who can use it, who can actually access it, and withdraw funds or deposit funds for the most part. I'm not going to allow anyone to, well, a person can actually deposit funds in there, but that person is not going to be able to remove any amount of funds for doing so, if that individual is not me. Okay? I spoke to a lot of folks today, okay? I spoke to a lot of folks today, so that's the reason why I sound a bit hoarse. That's the reason why I sound a bit hoarse. But anyway, my father, my earthly dad, well, the one who brought me into this particular world, the person who actually brought me into this world, he has no say over my life. He has no say over my accounts. He has no say over my fate. Neither does my mother, and neither does anyone else, no matter what you guys perceive they have done for me. And Albert Mann does not have any access to any accounts. Neither does Tess. Neither does any mother of any child of mine. It's too late. It's too late to be able to claim any account, and you guys never had the right. Okay? I want you guys to quit right away. I want you guys to quit right away. I want you guys to quit the fight. Okay? I want you guys to quit the fight. You guys are not going to be able to gain access to my account. You guys are not going to call up the mothers of my children, my biological and genetic children, to find a way to take off my account, whether in increments or in its totality, or any other sort of conceivable way. Okay? I've made provisions to be able to take care of my children, and now they're all being inducted into my, not inducted, but they've been enrolled into a training program that I've devised and designed for them. Once again, my children are being enrolled into a CIA training program to be lead CIA agents, auditors, and analysts of the Central Intelligence, of the federal government of the United States and its partnerships. Okay? Within that particular sort of scheme. And it's lawful. There's nothing irrational about it, for the most part. Yes, I do have a lot of children, and they are most likely going to be speedy, brilliant, or genius-like at least. Okay, each and every one of them will be capable of being exceptional when it comes to intellectualism, or when it comes to strategic skill sets. They're not going to apply for any sort of criminality or any sort of criminal sort of profession. They're just not going to get into any of that. Essentially, they're going to be nerds or cool nerds at worst. Okay, I want you guys to accept that. All right? I've been quite humble. I've been shockingly humble. Okay? I've been shockingly humble. Don't misinterpret what that means. And stop saying it's the people. It's not the American people decision to decide what happens to the American people when it comes to judgment, when it comes to judicial proceedings, when it comes to audit and assessment. No, it's my decision. It's God's decision. Jesus Christ. That's the reality. That applies to every other country on the planet in reality. And since the United States of America manages the planet, once again, since the United States of America manages the planet, it provides me the proper vessel for doing so. For auditing, without me having to do any field audit moving forward very soon. And assessing and where it needs to be, judging the political situation of the United States of America and or other countries in the world. Greg, I want you to understand. You're going to stop saying, dude, pack up your shit and leave the country. No, you're going to stop saying that. You're going to stop thinking that. You're going to stop communicating that. I need you guys to let go completely. You guys are not going to remain in the state of Florida. Your vacation is over. You guys' vacation is over. You guys' vacation is over. Listen, Craig Robinson, you guys are going to get the hell out of Florida. I'm going to give you guys about a month and a half. That's it, to get the hell out of Florida. Okay, we have dissolved the FBI. Okay, Interpol is going to show up to run the law enforcement apparatus of the United States government, the federal government. The FBI secretly dissolved. You will still see FBI offices all over the place, but it's secretly dissolved and it's clear as day to the whole federal government. I did that. Too incompetent, too racist, too xenophobic, meaning anti-immigrant, too irrational in maintaining ancient policies of delineation, separation, inequality, and such, you know, unethical activism, and just shocking irreverence for white supremacy. In all honesty, you know, I want you guys to accept that you guys are not going to be able to pull anything off. And every time you guys say we got to torture this guy in real life right away, I send police officers over to torture you guys. That's not a coincidence. Whenever you guys have some sort of communication or correspondence or some sort of meetings and we're going to have to torture this guy, kill this guy, or kick this guy out of the country or something, I send them over. It's not a coincidence, and they're going to stand there and laugh at you guys with blood flowing down their head saying we're going to have to torture you guys because this guy has police officers all over the place being newly hired. They must be in trouble, and that's why they're punishing us without asking any goddamn questions. You guys don't know how we work, how I work specifically, and how the folks, my team from heaven, how we work. I work in mysterious ways. I really work in mysterious ways. You guys are not going to be able to compete with me. It's a test of conscience. All of this was a test of conscience. Okay? All of the technology that I've given you guys to test you guys' conscience, I don't want it to fool you guys to a certain extent. Because I don't want to have to send in NATO. NATO is going to show up in this country. In about a month, NATO is going to show up in this country, and the tanks are going to be rolling down every city of the United States after what happens in Manhattan. Tanks and NATO soldiers, Europeans, for the most part, and a lot of Black Britain managers of NATO and its agencies. Okay? Things are going to be totally different. We're going to make sure that African Americans and other minorities are safe in this country to progress. And those who don't believe that's necessary, so what? That's just a personal opinion. When you say, well, that's not necessary to some of us, so the fuck what? I don't like cursing, but sometimes I have to be a bit more explicit in explaining to you guys what I'm truly saying, without any sort of confusion or ambiguity. Okay? I arrested Donald Trump. I amputated both his legs. I impeached him twice to cover it up. I just convicted him of 34 counts of felonies. I will decide whether he gets probation, a year in prison or such, or house arrest. But by the time, before we get to that point, he's going to fake his death for the most part. Or he's going to be approaching getting that done. Donald Trump is not going to run for, he's not really running for president. He's done. There is no hope for that. If you guys still believe that there's hope for that, you guys are certainly, and we're certainly the whole way through, completely irrational. The man can't walk anymore. He's clearly walking on stilts. Both his legs are gone. He ordered too many people killed in New York and dismembered. He worked with too many mob members who were purporting to be mob members or really were in their minds. Okay? So he refused to go to jail for 10 years or whatever the sealed judgment was against him, a ruling was against him in previous cases in a specific case. And he said yes to having both his legs amputated instead. You guys are not going to be able to keep up with me. I'm being modest. I'm warning you guys. Humble yourselves. Humble yourselves. Letitia James, humble yourself. Letitia James, I instructed your leg amputated because you refused to pay up the fine and the legal imposition and have it to spend a year in jail, and you said you'd rather lose your leg than go to jail for a day, and you were serious and you negotiated it with the FBI thinking it was a joke, and they amputated your leg. You're not going to blame that on me, middle-aged old woman. Letitia James, Attorney General of New York. Your leg was amputated, and your second leg is about to be amputated if you don't stop. You're not going to sit here and tell me, wait my turn. You're not going to sit here and tell any immigrant, wait his turn. You're not going to sit here and tell any immigrant, wait his turn. Stop saying that's the culture or history of America. The culture and history of America is slavery. The culture and history of America is white supremacy. Black people, based on that culture of the United States of America, shall never do well in this country, based on your logic. And that's just not true. This particularity shall not persist as true. Stop. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do not put others through the pain that you went through as a victim. Those you punish for imposing that sort of pain, pathologically, they have to be punished under procedures. Okay? Laws and procedures, compliant procedures. You cannot go vigilante. You cannot decide that there are social laws or social community laws or whatever you guys came up with. That's why we dissolved secretly the FBI. INTERPOL and the Central Intelligence Agency dissolved the FBI. They really did, per my instruction, and it was lawfully done. Stop sending emails to me. Stop sending emails to indirect. None of that actually reaches me. It was just in you guys' mind. I don't have time to read any emails sent from Letitia James or any other person, having to do with political gains. She wants to be governor of New York. She literally signed up to kill anyone who said that she's not worthy of becoming governor of New York, and she said that's the American way, especially the New York gangster way. We recorded a conversation saying that, and she was completely serious. She said it consistently, and she kept saying, I am never joking around, and she was always serious when she said that. She said that she participated in the dismembering of people's legs in New York City. She's originally from New York City. She expected to lose a leg at one point, but because some of the agents were like, well, we might be able to use it as some sort of honcho and keep her under criminal penalty and threaten her into being quite harsh to folks who are going to oppose us, some of the white agents. That's what they came up with. We have them identified. We have their conversations recorded and stored. all over the place in so many discrete locations, offices, not trap houses, not drug houses, not illegal, properties or any of that. I need you guys to take us very seriously. Okay? There are folks hovering above, and they have a plan for June 23rd and June 24th next month. And if you guys do as they say, there will be no casualty here in the United States of America regarding the global war which is underway, regarding what is going to happen in Manhattan. If you guys don't comply, the state of New York, the federal government of the United States, or specifically the city of New York, they are sure that stuff will be completely different. Take this seriously. They're here to save Jesus Christ and pray. They're here to rescue Jesus Christ. That's usually their job. They traverse the universe and so forth. They try regulating planets. They're inhabited planets all over the universe. There are 200 modern human civilizations all over the universe, and they regulate and all believe in just Jesus Christ, me, God. This is the only planet that has different variations, designated or identifying me as God. The 5 core religions all identify me as God, but it's a secret to most. Everywhere else in the universe is just Christianity. Just that's the only religion, and just English, that's the only language. I decided that. I made sure of that. But anyway, they traverse the whole universe. And whenever I need rescue, they show up. And whenever my life is threatened unnecessarily, and it usually is unnecessarily, they make a decision. They say, well, we're going to wait for him to make his judgment. And when he makes his judgment, we have to endorse it because he never makes a mistake. But he has allowed us and he's instructed us, and speaking of myself, I have instructed them to apply my judgment as they see fit. I'm not going to sit here and sacrifice and allow you guys to beat up on me and my work, what we're supposed to be doing here, and think that you guys are going to get off scot-free because I'm the nicest person in the world, and nicest being in the universe. And if I choose to be otherwise, you guys will have a reason to become God killers. We heard the conversations. We recorded it. Okay? We recorded you guys' conversations. We recorded that. We recorded your conversations. And you guys were serious. You guys said these things consistently. And you guys said these things clinically. And you guys had a chronology of a plan to be able to kill Jesus Christ and say, hell with religion. That's what we always intended in the first place. We heard it over and over and over again. This is what we have to deal with when we approach people placed in government and people placed in industries who perceive themselves as better than others, who have been in power in their minds over the past 10, 20, 30, over the decades, sometimes half a century. When they get to that point of arbitrary ego, it's very difficult to communicate or come across anything, that actually makes sense, which goes against their customized ego. Okay, guys, so I want you guys to understand this. I'm not a crazy person. I don't sleep outside. I'm not homeless. I'm actually going to walk out to the house right now. I just needed to step aside because the cars, they made a lot of noise. It was very difficult for you guys to be able to hear exactly what I was trying to say to you guys, what I was communicating, vocalizing. But you get the point. I am not here to hurt anyone, per se. I'm not here to violate the law, certainly. And I don't do so. I am literally programmed. Since I am from the higher universe, I am artificial intelligence when it comes to the mechanics of my thoughts and my processes and how I function as a safety protocol, as a security protocol. It makes me perfected when it comes to appreciating and serving as an example of being law compliant or adherent to the law. So once again, I am programmed to not violate the law. I am programmed to not violate nominal laws of any country. Programmed by my father, programmed by myself. When I'm dreaming into this world, in my human avatar, I am programmed not to violate the law. I need you guys to accept that. Stop looking for for ways to get around my perfection when it comes to legal literacy and genius articulation of law and policy, and the presentation of new, doctrines for the Central Intelligence Agency and the United Nations in becoming world government. Okay? Okay, so yeah, that's enough. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna walk home. It's only about a block or two away at this particular point. I'm gonna walk to the house, and so yeah, I'm in the process of transforming. I'm gonna walk into heaven. In all honesty, within the next 2 months, that's what's planned at this particular point. I'm gonna walk into heaven, and when I return, I'm gonna be 6'8", 6'8" to 6'9". Security details required this sort of adaptation. Originally, I intended to show up here on this planet after leaving the planet within 2 months and coming back in 2 days as a 6'5", 6'6" African American man. I'm going to return instead as a 6'8", 6'9" African American man of Caribbean birth, specifically Puerto Rico. And my name will be Khalid Sundiata Hassan. Sundiata is both a West African word, and it is a variation of a Native American word, or actually an Amerindian word, indigenous word or name here in the Americas. So I'm going to purport to be half Black African and essentially half Native American with some sort of white ancestry, slight white ancestry. Okay, guys? So there's nothing to worry about, in all honesty. Okay?